Men's Premier Division, we had Ramsey A versus Valkyries A, and Valkyries took the win 5-2.
Yeah, and this was a good game for Valkyries A, really, to start the season with, given that I think they've probably gone through a bit of change. A lot of the youngsters in their B team and C teams last year have moved up into the A team, and it's worked out for them. Day one, 5-2 win, puts them top of the league for the opening day of the season. It was 2-1 at half time, and it was looking a little bit close, but Valkyries A accelerated away. Louis Novo-Smith with 2. One of them was described as a screamer, top bins from the reverse stick. And Robin Masson on his debut for Valkyries A after transferring from Castletown. Chris Kelly and Greg Miller on the score sheet as well there for Valkyries Men's A. Ramsey Men's A, I think they might struggle this season. They've got to hope that they can perform against the likes of Saracens A when they come up against them, I think maybe next week or the week after. But Billy Kane and Thomas Titsos on the score sheet for Ramsey Men's A, and described as a debut performance to remember for Dan Hurd for Ramsey A as well.
Excellent. And an exciting game between Vikings A and Backers A, which you predicted, and that finished on a draw 2 apiece. Yeah,
last year Vikings Men's A really flattered to deceive. They felt that they were ready to challenge Backers A after the club's mixed season, which was extraordinary from their A team. But they lost 7-1 on the opening day, which just dashed all their hopes of winning the league really early. This season, though, 2-2. Great result for Vikings A. Backers A will be disappointed with that, because they'll have wanted to win early doors, put those points on the board, and put themselves top of the league. However, Backers A did start really well. Finished the first half 1-0, with 2-0 up before Vikings were able to come back to steal a point from them. Nathan Evans 2 for Vikings A, and Andy Whiting and Johnny Callow for Backers A.
Moving on now to the Women's Premier League. A strong start for Vikings A as they beat Backers A 4-0.
Yeah, and I wasn't aware of this before the show last night, but it seems that Backers A have lost a few players.
Yes, to uni and pregnancies and whatnot.
And
so
such
I think
forth,
they've got
yes.
about 5 new players or something, is it?
They've got a few new players, and I think I got a text message saying they had 5 new players playing in that squad today from Liv Perry, and you can see that some of the quality of the players they've lost. Emily Middleton has moved from Backers back to Harlequins just for one game today before she's off to university. And losing that sort of player is very, very difficult to replace immediately. It takes time to build again, and they had to do that last year as well. And you could see towards the end of the season things rapidly improved, and I think they're probably going to go through the same sort of transition this year. Vikings A, though, they're always good. You know what you're going to get from them. If you look at the goal scorers, Sarah Blackman, Zoe Crow, Kim Carney, they've been in that side for many years. And Jenny Vernon Brown, a fairly recent recent addition to the squad last year on the score sheet as well for Vikings A, who go top of the table.
Awesome. Ramsey beat Castletown A 5-1, so a nice easy win for Ramsey.
Yeah, and to be honest, I thought this one was going to be a bit closer, because both these sides could be fighting relegation, but Ramsey A look like they're going to be challenging along with Vikings A and Valkyries A for that title this year. Christina Kameen with 2, Maisie Megson, Daniela Stout and Sophie Hall with 1 each, and Zoe Shimon scored the consolation for Castletown A.
And speaking of Valkyries A, they smashed Saracens 7-0 today.
Yeah, and I think it's going to take a few weeks for Saracens ladies to find their feet. A, they're a fairly inexperienced side, a very young side, and B, it's their first taste at this level, and to have their opening game against the holders of the league title, Valkyries A was always going to be a big ask for them, but they played well. They've shown that they can compete at stages during the game. It's just building on that experience and trying to move forward. But Valkyries A showed why they're champions today. Amy Speed, Ellen Robinson and Imogen Manning all with 1. Andrea Littlejohns and Sienna Dunn with 2 each.
Excellent. Moving on to the men's Division 1. A close match between Vikings B and Valkyries B. Vikings took the win by just 1 goal, 3-2.
Yeah, it was 1-1 at half time, so it was a mighty close game. 2 well-matched sides here going head-to-head. And Valkyries B, I had them down as favourites to win this game, given the strength and depth the Valkyries have. But when you look at the Vikings men's B side, it's quite a strong side, especially with the likes of Andy Harding scoring 2 today and Danny Kane scoring 1. The Valkyries goal scorers are Chris Caldwell and Johnny Kane.
Bacchus B 2, Castletown A 1, and someone did text in to say that this was a very pleasant game.
I have heard that. I've also had it described as Ali Kelly's goal as a squealer.
Squealer.
So I'm not sure if Matt Greenbank meant a screamer going over the top of the keeper's head. But yeah, Harry Caelan and Ali Kelly on the score sheet there for Bacchus Men's B. A little bit of a shock, but on reflection, when you see the calibre of players that Castown have lost over the Christmas period, with Stevie Ronan going to Vikings A, Jake Fair going to Vikings A, and Robin Masson, their island striker, going to Valkyries A. They've got a little bit of rebuilding to do.
And we've also got Harlequins A versus Vikings C, but as this is a late game, I personally don't have the results as of yet.
Just had it through, and it was 2-1, and it was 2-1 at half-time to Harlequins A. Vikings Men's C goal scorer was Lee Cowell. Charlie Morris making his debut with a man-of-the-match performance for Vikings C. Harlequins A goal scorers were Patrick Fraser and Ross Arnold.
That is a good debut to make, isn't it? Moving on to the Women's Division 1, Valkyries B smashed Castletown B 6-0.
Yeah, it was it was a tale of two halves, really. The first half, it was very, very close, 1-0 to Valkyries B. But I think probably a little bit of fitness, a little bit of experience in the second half. Valkyries were able to accelerate away. Steph Cottier with 2, Florence Barber, Clementine Kermode-Clegg, Emma Miller and Amelia Quinn all on the score sheet as well.
And Harlequins A 2, Vikings B 1.
This one, I actually described Harlequins Ladies probably going to be one of the favourites for relegation, and Vikings Ladies B, given the strength and depth they have, tipped for being sort of towards the top of the league. And I've seen the Vikings Ladies team, and it is a quite strong team. But today, when you look, and I said this earlier,
you would have
tonight.
Lost your money in Vegas.
Oh, yes, definitely. But Emily Middleton and Rachel Middleton, 2 former Bacchus players, back for 1 week only before university, on the score sheet for Harlequins today, winning them the game 2-1.
Excellent. I love a little bit of a shock win. In the Rossborough Men's Division 2, Castletown B 2, Harlequins B 1.
Yeah, Castletown B, Men's B. I've tipped them for the win this year, and I thought it would probably be a little bit more in their favour than this, but Harlequins Men's B have done really well here. Ben Cunningham on the score sheet for Harlequins B. Castletown B was Don Stewart and Daniel Cross.
And I've also got Ramsey B versus Valkyries C and Saracens B versus Bacchus C. And as those two are late games, I don't have the results. Do you have the results?
I do indeed. I had them through a few minutes ago. Ramsey B was 3-0. Ramsey B Valkyries C was 3-0. I haven't got the goal scores for Ramsey Men's B though. 166, 177 if you can text those in, please. And Saracens Men's B 10, Bacchus Men's C 2. The goal score for Bacchus C was John Stevens with 2. And Saracens Men's B, take a big breath, Steve Jackson with 4, John T. Bagratti with 3, Liam Farrar with 2, and Christian Davies rounding off the goal scoring.
Fabulous. And we have fairly high scoring games in the Rossborough Women's Division 2. Saracens B managed to get half the score in their game against Valkyries C. Valkyries took the win 6-3.
Yeah, and this one's been described as a pleasant game, played in high spirits despite the weather, and a huge thanks went out from the Saracens texter to the umpires for allowing the game to go ahead. You know, it was a horrible day for everybody out there today, really.
It really was, yeah.
Just goes to show
sitting inside
how hardy hockey players are. They didn't care, they just went out and played hockey anyway. So the goal scorers of Valkyries C, Carol Whiteleg with 2, Hannah Walters, Sophie Stevens, Lucy Murphy and Helen Freer puts them top of the league after the opening weekend of the season. Saracens B was Maxine Lace and Helen Mason with 2.
And finally, Bacchus C took a little bit of a beating from new team Vikings C. Vikings won 4-0.
Yeah, and the goal scorers here were Jan Carney, Daisy McGarrigle, Blake Kane and Tamsin Naylor.